On the road this weekend facing the Tennessee Titans, with their having first overall pick in Cam Ward, that task for your defense, what do you recall about being, highly touted first round pick and the way that defenses maybe attacked you as a rookie?
I guess generally they, you try to pressure a young quarterback. I don't know, Lou's much smarter than I am in terms of that kind of stuff. So I know he'll have a plan for how he wants to handle it. But yeah, I just remember as a young player, defensive coordinators trying to speed you up. It's a fast game already, and that's what a lot of coaches will do. I think it differs in every situation.
With you guys sitting at 2-0, Shane said that he's really preached discipline. What does that discipline look like kind of in that Monday through Saturday to lead up to produce what you need to on Sunday?
I think it's just not looking too far ahead of where we are in the week or where we are in our process, and making sure we're having the best Wednesday we can have, and focusing on accomplishing what we need to today, and then once we do that, we're focused kind of on Thursday and what's in front of us then. So I think that's the same process we've stuck to this point. That doesn't change for us, and we'll keep doing that.
Darren, you've played a lot of road games in your career. Knowing where you guys are right now, the first one of the season, how much are you embracing this moment to get a chance to go down there and play against the Titans?
Yeah, I've always enjoyed playing on the road. I think, in a hostile environment, and it's kind of your team, and I think there's some part of that brings you, closer, and you kind of got to, pack together and go in there and get a win. So I've always enjoyed playing on the road. I'm excited for our first opportunity to do that this year.
I'm sorry, Danny, as a quarterback, when you've got a player like Jonathan Taylor, you had Saquon, how does that impact your play and what you guys can do on offense?
Yeah, it makes a tremendous impact. Have a running back like that who can hit the big one, hit the home run, who can make it happen. Late in the game, that was a huge play for us there in the fourth quarter, and breaks a really long run. He made some plays in the pass game too, but it helps the quarterback a ton.
When you went back and watched the film, what did you see from JT? I'm sure you could feel it in the pass game, but in terms of him in pass protection.
I thought he was really good. Really good. I think, obviously, like we talked about last week, that was an aggressive defense, and they want to, pressure and send guys and force you to pick things up and pass off, games up front, and our guys did a really good job with that, and JT was a big part of it.
Daniel, I know you haven't been here for the past decade, but for years this franchise has been playing catch-up after the first couple of weeks of the season. I know it's a long way to go, but how beneficial is it? How can it be a launching pad when you see where the rest of the division is early on?
Yeah, I don't think we're putting too much into looking at the division at this point. We're 2 games into the season, and sure, it's good, great to get off to a fast start, but everyone knows there's a lot of football to play, and we know that. So, obviously we'd rather be 2-0, but there's a lot in front of us, and we've got to continue to improve as a team.
I asked Shane what has stood out to him about this team. You're off to a 2-0 start. He mentioned that the camaraderie of the guys, the togetherness. Do you feel that? Do you sense that among these guys in this locker room? Yeah,
I think so, for sure. I think we've got a lot of guys who are bought into what we're doing and want to win more than anything. No one's bigger than that. No one's bigger than the team, and I think you feel that. And we've got to continue to do that. We've got to do that through the week as we prepare this week to play the Titans.
Dave, what do you think it's like the game plan against the targets that you guys have, and then couple that with the fact that you are spreading the ball around as well? You can't hold in on one guy, right?
Yeah, I think it's a good point. It makes it tough for defenses. I think you look at a lot of offenses across the league, and there's a clear go-to guy, or there's 1 or 2 guys where you say, hey, we take this guy out of the game, and it changes what they can do. I think with us, if you do that, it exposes you to some other, 4 or 5 other guys who can make plays, and I think we've said all along through training camp, I think that's a big-time strength for us.
You had mentioned Shane has always said he wants to be multiple. Have you gotten the sense like that is a It's a goal of his is to try to spread the ball around.
I think so, yeah. I think you see it in how we game plan, how we use different guys' skill set. I think, always week to week, depending on what the defense is doing, some defenses may lend more to a certain guy's skill set, but, I think there's definitely an effort to get everyone involved and spread the ball around.
You had mentioned Lou up at the top of here. How has he improved you as a quarterback since you've gotten here in town?
I think just seeing a lot of different looks and I've been able to ask questions, talk about things like how he sees certain situations, how he wants to play on defense, what things might cause him issues, how he handles those things, and you can learn a lot from a really good coach like that who's been around for a long time and has a system like he has that has so many different multiples.
How weird is it that you guys haven't had to punt yet? I mean, has that sort of sunk in yet? A couple games in?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's good, but we've been stopped. I mean, we haven't converted on some fourth downs, which have kept us from scoring. So, it's great we haven't punted, but we gotta convert those and gotta score touchdowns in the red zone. So there's plenty to look at that we need to improve in terms of sustaining drives and finishing the touchdowns.
What stands out to you about Alec Pierce as a deep ball catcher and his ability to kind of make you right on some of those 50-50 balls? Yeah,
I mean, I think a lot of deep ball guys, it's their speed and being able to get behind the defense, and he has that for sure. He can run past anybody, but he also has the ability to go up and catch, make the contested catch, high point it. He's strong. I think when you put that together, it's a real threat down the field.
Last question here, Ken.
Down for the first 2 games. Do you point to anything specifically in the line?
I mean, I think just being able to run it and throw it, being able to do both, I think keeps the defense on their heels, and guys up front have done a really good job in the run game and then in the pass game too. Guys are getting open, so I think you can do both. You prepare for those situations, and then it's important to get the drive off to a good start.
Z, Coach Steichen talked about getting off to a 2-0 start. You really tried to stay disciplined so you can maintain that level of execution that you have to this point. What does that discipline look like that you have to have throughout the course of the week so that you get the results that you want to have on Sunday?
I think Coach Shane's really just framed our entire season, including the off season, on just focus on getting better every day. So it's just attacking the process. Every week, you have a cycle of a week. Wednesday, obviously, trying to get the first and second down and everything together, and start moving on the third down, the red zone, so on and so forth. So I'm just making sure you're taking advantage of every day. To win a game on Sunday, you got to win on Wednesday first. So.
You've had plenty of opportunities to this point in your career, obviously, to play at Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
You've also seen a number of rookie quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
What do you try to do as a defense in particular to exploit a rookie and make him uncomfortable?
Well, obviously, it's still a new experience for him. You got to get the rookies young before they get old and be a big dog. So you definitely got to get your licks in early. But Cam's a talented young player. Obviously, he can make all the throws, athletic. He was the number 1 overall pick for a reason. So, it's our job to stop him and keep him off balance.
So you've seen what it's like to it. It can come down to the last game of the season to tell you whether or not you're in the playoffs or out. They all matter. I know it's just the beginning, but many years you're looking up at the standings after week 1. What kind of launching pad can this be to get out there 2-0 and get a leg up, especially with this division game?
Well, definitely, starting off 2-0 and 2 AFC wins is going to be huge. We've been in that situation before where you look at the end of the season and you're like, man, if we would have won that week 2 game, it would have been a big deal. But, I think my boy McKinney and the Packers said it best. A lot of teams start off 2-0 and end up not being nothing. So, like I said, we just got to stick to our process, continue to be diligent, and just win this week.
First road game, how much are you embracing this moment here? No more in front of the home crowd, but going on the road now.
I love it. I love being a road dog. I think coming on the road and winning on the road is always an opportunity for the team to grow closer. We already got a huge, close-knit team, so I think it's just another challenge for us, obviously against a talented Tennessee team. So.
See what's working with them early, but the takeaways, you're getting key takeaways. What's working?
I think it's just guys ready for their moment. In a back and forth game like Denver, you're going to have games where it's high scoring, and it's just really about the defense that makes the first play. And we knew that. I was preaching out on the sideline like, hey, look, man, the first defense to make the turnover is going to win the game, and everybody was ready. And Cam Bynum has just been special, no question. I mean, he's been making big plays and big moments. And obviously, not only just his energy, but his playmaking has been a big deal for our team and for our defense. So definitely got to kick that up. But, I think guys were just ready for that moment, ready to execute.
When you talk about Cam, what does that say about an individual? I mean, you know how it can be tough joining a new team, high expectations coming in, but it seems like this guy has been ready to go since day one, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think that's, both sides. I think Cam came in with the right mindset, knowing that, A, he had to earn, the trust and, his reputation obviously speaks for itself, but, you're in a new locker room, you got to prove it all over again. And, I think it just speaks to the leadership of the locker room, first with Kenny, with the DBs, and, so on and so forth, even to the other guys on the other side of the ball, just making Cam feel comfortable enough to be himself. I think that's usually the hardest part when you come into a new situation. You want a guy to feel comfortable enough to feel like himself, to be himself, that way he can play the best version of his game. And thankfully he's been able to do that so far.
With Ward, when you see a play like he made last week for that touchdown, like what do you have to be aware of as a defense knowing he has that shot in his bag?
I mean, I hope he throws that play again. It wasn't a good throw. But, I mean, he's a talented player. So, like I said, he can make all those throws. His arm angle, obviously, is exceptional. He's got a zip in the ball. Like I said, he's the number 1 overall pick for a reason. I was a fan of him when he was in college. But, when you got a guy like that that's able to make plays, you just got to make sure you stay on your assignments. But hopefully he throws the ball again.
When you see your offense go out there and they're having long possessions and capitalizing, and they're not going 3 and out, how beneficial is it as a defense to be on that sideline and not having to rush back out there right away?
Man, it's great. I mean, it lets you be more opportunistic, You're willing to take your chance, willing to take a shot. A, because you're rested. Defense, our offense controlling the clock. I've been on the other side of that. That's not fun. But then also, too, when you got offense that's putting points up, they got your back. So it's, disheartening it was sometimes on Sundays, letting up long drives or giving up a big play, knowing that our offense was capable of having our back, just makes us want to keep going and keep making plays.
I asked Shane, what has stood out to him about this team being 2-0. And he didn't say the offense, he said defense, but he talked about just the camaraderie of this team and just the togetherness. You've been a veteran player. Do you sense that in this locker room this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think for myself personally, that was really one of my biggest goals. Just coming off of last year, I just felt like, not even to continue to even talk about last year, but I just felt like we had some cracks in the cup, So just coming in this year was just a big deal for, myself and other leaders to make sure that we were, all one band, one sound. Everybody was moving together, whether that was getting together outside of the building or, just making sure we're sticking together on the field. I think this team is, showing that we've been growing together. We just got to keep that going. I think a big road win in the division would be big for us.
What do you think is the next step for the run defense for you all? Obviously, I know the numbers probably don't want to be that high as they've been for the first 2 games. What's the next step to, I guess, show that out a bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just got to be cleaner in our run fits, in our communication. Obviously, it's room for improvement. I think this is a little skewed, but like I said, I think we could be better. Obviously, it's a lot of things in this defense that we got to clean up. Like I mentioned before, we still haven't reached that peak yet. So I think run defense is one of those things we definitely want to be better at.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna approach it the same as I always do, and know my job from play to play, and whether it is go make a catch or block, for run plays is just what we're gonna do.
Tyler, how much fun are you having right now with this offense? I mean, it seems like every time you guys on the field, you're at least putting some points on the board. How much fun are you enjoying?
Yeah, it's fun to have these type of players that I'm playing with, and just being able to spread the ball around like we have, and letting playmakers make plays. So it's been fun to be a part of that.
What do you think the biggest contributing factor is to sustaining long drives and capitalizing with points at a pretty high clip?
I think staying in manageable downs, so staying on track and not being in 3rd and long. I think we've done a good job, and when we have Jonathan running the ball like he is, it opens up the pass game and vice versa. So I think we've been pretty balanced, and it helps sustain the long drives.
How much are you looking forward to your first road game here in the NFL? Give me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it should be fun. Luckily, we got the preseason road games to kind of get the first experience out of the way and kind of know what to expect when we're out there. But it'll be a little different, obviously, being a regular season game, so it should be exciting.
You've been asked to do so much already. How comfortable are you in all the different roles in the playbook and knowing like, hey, I have different assignments on different plays? It could be anything.
Yeah, I think it's not really something I think about in that nature. My bad, sorry. In that nature, it's more just knowing my job on that play, whatever that might look like, and just executing it to the best of my ability.